just wanna do it the right way. The first time's all luck, the second time's my enemy, and I don't wanna lie to you. Think about myself more than anything else. I beat myself up, just wanna do it a better way. I tend to rush, I can't control the energy, and I don't wanna lie to you. Think about myself more than anything else. Yeah, and I don't wanna let you down, so I pick my shit up and work on through. I beat myself up, just wanna be a better man. Now that I got love, I reassess my everything, and I don't wanna lie to you. I think about myself more than anything else. Yeah, and I don't wanna let you down, so I pick my shit up and work on through. Yeah, and it's lucky that I found something worth holding on to. I beat myself up, beat myself up. 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 I beat myself up.
Matt Johnson and Jess Hardigan, welcome to The Right Note as 2/3, 2 3/5, 4/7, some part of Magpie Diaries anyway.
Yeah, the best part.
Now, now look, if you guys hadn't made a record at all, let alone one as enjoyable as Sanctuary, which you just happen to have one here, you'd have done more good than most of us have in our lives. And this is even before you brew your own beer, which I presume is down the line somewhere.
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he doesn't need any more ideas. But you began the Gumball Music Festival, it's what, 14 years now.
Yeah.
Kept it going against seemingly every local government grumpy neighbour objection possible.
Yep.
You added the first and largest Americana festival, Dashville Skyline, and now you've got, is it really called this? Pigsty in July?
Yeah,
And Thrashville, all on your family's property in the Hunter Valley. Do you have a death wish, or do you just like pain, or just the constant threat of financial ruin?
I don't know. I guess the gumball was a pretty exciting prospect at the start, and it was a lot of work to do that first event, and we put a lot into that, and a lot of time and energy, but it was also very tricky to have all the weight of one weekend in terms of an operation, I guess, and so then there was other ideas on little things that we could do in the meantime in between gumball, even though that was a year-long thing. It was just, look, I'll be first to admit that maybe I've come to the detriment of a good idea a few times. Thrashville was definitely a good idea for a name of a festival, and yeah, look, that's we did 2 years of that. 4 festivals last year, and yeah, Thrashville and Pigsty, I guess, are probably smaller than the other 2 festivals, but between all of the things that are going on, I guess we could pick and choose maybe, I don't know, at some point. I don't wish to do 4 festivals every year, that's for sure.
Well, who needs sleep?
Yeah.
You can always find a couch somewhere.
Yeah, I actually didn't realise that we did 4 festivals last year. It was just like, the end of the year came and it was like, wow, we did all that, yeah, and released an album, so. Well,
one of the things I like about the songs on Sanctuary, just happen to have here, did I mention that? There's to my ears anyway, there's a Southern soul feel coming through it as well. Not just country rock. And for me, some of the best stuff in this era came in the 60s when black and white musicians were actually drawing from the same roots. What was it about soul that made sense in this context for you? I mean, was it that it was there anyway? Did you feel like it has a place here?
I think that was the only way that I could approach it, because I'd be the first to admit that if you're writing music and you're playing music, and I was never taught like a student of the guitar or anything. It was always like you just pick up bits and you run with it, and I think when you write a song, like if it doesn't have soul, then what has it got? Like, you know what I mean? And I think, for me, it's about the giving of the emotion and the energy in the song, and I think that's where the band sort of forms around that. I think that's pretty much, soul's. I enjoy soul music. I like that. I like rock music as well. But I guess probably thinking about what types of rock music. I guess the ones that legitimate rock. I guess is that's the one that I would sort of feel more inclined to listen to, I guess.
I'm curious about the sound too, given that the album did come together over some time in different locations. How did you keep a sense of continuity in the tone and the sound?
It's a good question. I guess, some of the songs were recorded in a house, in the middle of the bush, and some were recorded in a Nashville studio, and some were recorded at 3 a.m. on Mullumbimby, It's sort of
Nothing good comes at 3 a.m.
Not when you're getting ripped up off the lounge saying, it's your turn. Look, I guess in a way that it's a lot like the songs. The songs span quite some time, and I guess, from early 20s, late teenager, through to, maybe two years ago. And there probably is a lot of difference to the songs in some form, but I guess it's all come together. And for me, it was hard to really kind of work out what it was all about. Like the songs they did have a little, they had the essence of similarities in terms of, that I was singing them and me and Jess were singing together, and but essentially it was the full wrap of in Sanctuary, the title. It was that was like the final piece that. When I stood back and looked at what we'd done, it was like, well, how does this all gel together? And it was interesting, because I guess Sanctuary came around because there was a list of things that I was thinking about it, but I guess it's just the development of me as a songwriter, and that in itself is a safe, happy place for me. If I'm not really sharing it with too many people, and it just kind of evolved, which was cool.
Well, that's the interesting thing about the progress of your career and at the band is that while everyone was looking at the festivals you were putting on, it seemed like you'd forgotten or put aside the fact that you were a songwriter and a musician. When did it become clear to you that you had to focus on this, that this was more than just some songs you've been throwing together over 10 years, 15 years, or whatever?
I think when I got given a little bit of an opportunity with that, you know, like it always felt like I just couldn't go and play these festivals just because I was running them. It was always, I mean, we started the Dashville Progress Society because there was all these local bands, including my own at the time. Well, I wasn't really playing much, but it was like I'd love to play and I'd love to put a band together, but there's so many of us that, you know, there's only one performance at a time. There's no overlaps and stuff, so it's always comes down to who's going to get the opportunity. So we got the Progress Society in to form this big super group, you know, and basically we just got all the people in bands from the local area and we said, right, we're going to form this band and we're going to play songs that, you know, we'll just play cover songs and make it fun, you know, get up on the stage. And we've been doing that for a few years, and it was, I guess, that kind of kept the little bit of energy towards playing and you know, just, yeah, I guess we just chipped away at it, you know. William Crichton was definitely a good supporter of Magpie's music, and you know, I played a few supports with him over the last couple of years, just in a solo capacity, and sort of, I guess, moving out of the time when, you know, a few things weren't really, you know, some big experiences, I guess you'd say, and you know, there's a lot of energy going out to these other projects, so it's kind of, you got to find a spot to give some back to yourself. You know?
Well, that's interesting. I mean, Jess, where did you guys find the time and the energy to do this?
Well, I guess we just decided we had to make the time. Like, it, you know, it probably got put on the back burner for a couple of years there because we were just doing the festivals and we're quite busy with all the Dashville stuff. And then after doing that for a few years together, and it was growing and growing, and we kind of worked out, well, you know, this train ain't stopping. We're going to have to just make time to do this,
everybody
regardless. So we just did, and I think it was the trip to the States we took a couple of years ago was probably the catalyst for it. Though Matt went and did a little session with Matt Sherrod, and that kind of started the ball rolling on the album, really.
Yeah,
that's kind of where it went.
Last question. I think I've been saving this up because wanted to get to the gritty stuff at the end. So brace yourselves.
Yeah.
Do you really sell honey by the side of the road, as you say in Honey, or is it really just a scam to get us hang out there waiting for the next load of merch?
I wish I could just sell honey by the side of the road. That'd be. I think that's it's definitely something to strive for. That song Honey is basically a story. So it was about 2008, I think. There was the third year of the Gumball, and we'd been kind of pushed around a fair bit back then, like with councils and stuff. And somebody had spoke to me about Wollombi, and that would be a good place to pick up for a location for the Gumball. And so I was out there quite a bit. It's about an hour from Dashville now, and this is pre-Dashville. Dashville was there, but it wasn't called Dashville. It was just Mum and Dad's property at the time, so I was just driving back on one of those days. You know, I'd even towed a tractor out there, and I was clearing people's paddocks to car parks, and you know, fortunately for them, but that all ended up not really happening. But one day I was coming back, and through the coal mines of the Hunter Valley, Mount Thorley, big open cut mines, just levelling mountains, and there's lots of people, lots of traffic, lots of trucks. You know, there's lots of people on big incomes, and you know, doing pretty well. And then just as you come to this sort of main intersection there on the Golden Highway, there's this old fellow parked on the side of the road with an old Cortina, and with the boot up, and he was selling honey, and you know, and he looked like he was doing things his way. And it was just like one of those moments where you just think about, you know, he's obviously made some pretty good decisions in his life, you know, and he's happy with that, and then the song just kind of wrote itself in my head as I was driving home, you know. It's like, how does his wife think about that, and the whole thing, and kind of just like that. It was probably one of the quickest songs I've written, really. It was pretty, but yeah, I think, and then in some form I just sort of related that back to what we were doing at the time, and wasn't really a done thing to have a festival back then, but now it's kind of, there's lots more events now. I think there's been a bit of a shift in the way people, there's lots of, I think the economy and everything seems to be changing a little bit, lots more people doing their own things and, turning away from big industry and all that sort of stuff, which is, I see that as a positive thing.
Though you probably might advise people not to do 4 festivals.
Yeah, I'd say, try and keep a balance. And
3 festivals and an album. That's a reasonable year, isn't it?
It's pretty good.
Maybe, 2 or 3.
Well, Matt and Jess, thank you very much for your time.
Thank
No
you.
worries, man. Thanks, man. Nice talking to you. Cheers.
Pleasure.
My baby wants that world much more than I could ever give to her, and those trees swaying in the breeze increases my inabilities. And I just want to lay with you and taste all of the good things that you bring into my living room. Strawberries and cream, strawberries and cream, strawberries and cream, help me to dream. There's a big crow on a pile of coal, laughing saying I told you so, and the screech of that train adds to the disappearance of my brain. And I just want to lay with you and taste all of the good things that you bring into my living room. Strawberries and cream, strawberries and cream, strawberries and cream, help me to dream. In the theme park of no fun, where is everyone? And that road, it is long and it is far from my home. And I just want to lay with you and taste all of the good things that you bring into my living room. Strawberries and cream, strawberries and cream, strawberries and cream, help me to dream. Oh yeah, please let me dream. Please let me dream. Oh, would ya please let me dream with my strawberries and cream. Yeah.